welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelley. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Happy Saturday! It is the weekly energy card reading, and today we are going to do something kind of special. Every Saturday I post a video that where you, the viewer, choose from one of 3 tarot decks, and after you've selected your deck, we go ahead and do a quick spread to see what the energies will be like for the next 7 days. It is a reading that is just for fun. I like to think of card reading like a dream interpretation. I think the images really speak to you, and we have a saying in card reading, which is take what resonates and leave the rest. So sometimes there might be little nuggets of information, but if you feel like the reading is not resonating, please feel free to choose a different pile. It does not need to be the week of the 18th. I'm sorry, 18th, I don't know. Sorry. It does not have to be the week of the 8th through the 15th in order for the messages to resonate. So if you feel like you're drawn to a video, like if you like the artwork or the stone, please feel free to check out either another video here on my channel or even another reader. And, you know, just take whatever speaks to you and discard the rest. Now today is kind of a fun day because I'm kind of calling it my oldie but goodie day. I'm pulling out decks that we have not used in a while, and when we get into the deck description, I'll go ahead and go over that. All of the materials that I use are in the description box below, as are the timestamps if you want to jump straight to your reading. Now, here on my channel, I love to celebrate national days. I just think it's a fun way to kind of shake things up and make things different. And today, August 8th, I thought it was interesting. I looked at the National Day list, and there's quite a lot going on today. August 8th on the National Day list is Global Sleep Under the Stars Day. And I thought that was wonderful because it's funny, a long time ago, gosh, I don't even know how long ago, really many moons ago, I had a good friend invite me out to her lake house. Yes, she had a lake house. And it was their vacation home, and I'd never done anything like that. I don't have a vacation home, and I was so grateful to go on, you know, take a trip out. And we went to their lake house, and I remember their dad was like, "Here, sleep on the back porch," and he was so excited about it. And I was like, "What is he talking about?" And we all got sleeping bags, and we slept out on the back porch underneath the stars. And I'll tell you, we were away from city lights, and it was so glorious. So that is something that I remembered when I saw that. Today is Global Sleep Under the Stars Day. It is also National Happiness Happens Day, which I think is great because happiness needs to happen. It needs to happen more than just once a year. But if you make it happen today, that's even better. It is also National Frozen Custard Day. Oh my God, we got to celebrate that, y'all. After I am done with this reading, I will go out. I promise you, here we go. You know, Girl Scout honor, 3 fingers. There you go. I promise I will go out and get some frozen custard today, preferably with some caramel and chocolate mixed in it. The other thing is it's National Dollar Day. So I don't know if you want to visit the dollar store or possibly, you know, just spend $1 on something. I don't know of anything that actually costs $1 anymore. With tax, it tends to be like $2.50. It's also National Bowling Day. I know a lot of people are respecting social distancing, so I don't know if that's going to happen. But you know what? If you can bowl at home, if you have that little plastic bowling game. It's National Garage Sale Day, which again, with the world events, that's probably not happening. But if you're in a healed part of the world and that's happening for you, check it out. And the last thing was, and this one was a weird one, okay? It's funny, I'm just going to preface this by saying, okay, you know how when you go to different states, you sometimes see a really strange state rule, like, I think in Colorado, you're not allowed to walk down the street backwards and naked, and you know what that tells me? The very fact that that's a law, it means someone did it, right? It happened, hashtag it happened, but here it is National Sneak Some Zucchini Onto Your Neighbor's Porch Day. Sneak some zucchini onto your neighbor's porch day. And I'm not making this up. You can Google it. Go to nationalday.com. It's right there, August 8th. So, that's all I can say. That's on the list, and we'll get into that. Since we have such a myriad of cool different options, including zucchini and your neighbors, yeah, enough said, I decided to go ahead and pull out some unique decks. First off, I went with the first deck. I went ahead and chose the Morgan Greer, which is, it's the second deck that I ever bought, but it's the first deck that I actually formally learned tarot on. And on top of it, we have a beautiful piece of sea glass that was gifted to me. It was someone who actually found the glass at the Eastern Shore, so I think that is so sweet. The second deck is one we have not seen in a long time. It is The Art of Tarot by Liz Dean. And on top of it, we have a beautiful cherry volcanic quartz. And then the third deck is one we haven't seen in a while, but has been in regular rotation. And this is the, oh my gosh, what is it? Why am I drawing a blank? Siolo Thompson. It's the, I'm going to put it up on the screen, and it's in the description box. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. I'm sorry, y'all. It's been a little bit of a long day. I'm honestly a little exhausted, but it's funny. I find my energy for the read. I regenerate through tarot. It's the way it goes. But since we had such unique days for today, and we have decks that we haven't used in a while, I decided to pull out a clarifying deck, which is an oracle deck. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Okay, let me tell you why I'm excited. This deck is called Salmon Advice, and it's volume 2. It's a deck that's available on Etsy, and I'll go ahead and I'll give you the link. The deck that they have up now is volume 3, but I got volume 2. And what it is it's a deck of really unique cards. It has really great artwork. I always think of the Beatles' Yellow Submarine. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like a pop psychedelic kind of artwork. And what it is there's one card in the deck. There's one card in the deck that says smart as the salmon. And the reason I'm getting all excited is because the smart as the salmon's on the bottom. Whoa! Which is like, it's like saying, the bottom deck, the bottom card, if you're not familiar with tarot, is like, or oracle, is kind of like the embodiment of the read. It's kind of like the central energy. It's kind of like a theme card for the rest of the entire reading. So I am thrilled. Oh my God. I shuffled those cards too. And on top of the deck, I just wanted to show you, I shared this. Oh, speaking of which, I shared this over on my Instagram, and I'm new to Instagram. Just to throw it out there, I'm Instagram official now. I love taking pictures. I have a million pictures of nature and everything, but that's cultivated over, again, many moons. And I had several friends going, "Are you on Instagram? When are you going to get on Instagram?" And now I'm sorry, y'all, I'm 2000 and late, but I'm starting to understand. It's funny. There's kind of a bell curve that they talk about with technology. There's what they call early adapters, which are people who really jump on board right away. And God knows how long has Instagram been around? Probably 14 years. And I'm just now getting acclimated to it, and I really like it. It's very cool, and I'm very grateful. I have so many people jumping, I'm following them, they're following me, and I'm like, oh my God, this is great. So I'm getting used to Instagram, but I'm finally Instagram official, and I posted a picture of this. It's a picture of coral. And it's a piece of natural coral. It's ethically obtained, so it's not from fracking or any type of anything that hurts the environment. And you know me, I'm a nature girl. You'll see me own a lot of decks, but you know that I understand environmental issues very well. I have a kind of a sub-channel on my channel called Eco Girl in a Modern World. So I do care about environmental issues. That is a organically sourced piece of coral, and it's very special because it was gifted to me along with some other seashells. seashells from my little niece. And my little niece is my buddy. She is everybody's buddy. She is such a doll. And so it's very special to me. It's good chi. I consider it a stone. I think it's up there with organites and stones. So enough blabbing. Gosh, I'm sorry, guys. I think I've been blabbing for 10 minutes. I promise that I'm trying to do a short read. I promise you one of these days I will give you a short read. But again, if you don't want to listen to my blabber, the timestamps are in the description. Please bypass. But that said, we'll go ahead and let you choose your deck. If you like the artwork, if you like the stone, if you're drawn to it from behind your rib cage, from where the solar plexus punches you right in the center of the chest, if you are getting pulled from your core, your essence, even if you like the numerology. So choose from your gut instinct. And if you need more time, please pause the video and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. And can I just say, for the record, I'm really animated. It's funny, it's the nights that I worked like all day long and I am freaking exhausted and I'm really tired. I feel like this weekend I'm going to be so happy to just sleep. But for some reason I get excited when I get to your readings. I don't mind. And isn't that a sign that you love what you do, right? And I'm so grateful for that. Oh, to the 10 of Pentacles. Oh, thank you, universe. Speaking of which, we are talking about the Pen of Tenacles. All right, guys. I promise I'll get it together. I'm sorry. It's been a long day, I promise you. But we're talking about the 10 of Pentacles on Tuesday, which is the How to Tarot Tuesday. And 3 of Pentacles. Very cool. Yes, thank you. I love what I do. I love connecting with people. And I love connecting with you, my beloved watchers. And I love watching you too. I watch everyone's videos, by the way. All right, I'm going to get to Shushin. What is your energy for the week? Whew. All right. Okay, end of the week, please. And this flipped over. I get a clear. Thank you. Oh. Okay, now first off, I'm gonna preface and say that this all looks crazy. I'm getting a total story. I see it. I understand. And for the record, I think the word of the reading or the word of this video is preface. I'm probably going to say it like 12 times. All right, I'm going to shush and let's get into your reading. So from the Salmon advice cards, ooh, full of wonders. All right, get on your feet, show them on. Full of wonders. All right, guys, let's jump right into it. Now, at the beginning of the week, you got the King of Swords. And I know we've talked a lot, if you're a follower of my channel, we've talked a lot about the King of Swords. And we throw around a lot of the same meanings, like cerebral, up in your head, playing a game of chess. Here, I do think that at the beginning of the week, and you can be a man or a woman in this energy, beginning of the week, you really are going to be up in your head. But what I'm seeing here, and what's really standing out to me, is when you look at a sword, you see kind of grain, right? Which is kind of a King of Pentacles thing. And you do see a lot of greenery around him. And, oh my gosh, I love the Morgan Greer. I've said before, this is the second deck. It's the first deck that I ever formally learned tarot on, and it just speaks to me. It's very clear. It's very clear in its images. And the wheat is really standing out to me. And with the clouds, beginning of the week, you want to cut through. You want to cut through anything that is murky, right? Anything that anything that is misconstrued. Anything that is misunderstood, you are wiping that stuff out, right? The other thing is that I'm really, I'm getting an intuitive sense that I really get a sense like you're clarifying perceptions of you. Like you're stating what you believe in. And I know that sounds crazy, but the beginning of the week, the grain is kind of like the harvest, right? I really get a sense like you've been working hard, and oh my gosh, when we get to the middle of the week, it's going to be more of that energy. But to be in a King of Swords energy, you're a king, right? That's the top. The kings in all four suits is the farthest you can go, right? So the King of Swords is the farthest you can go with mental activity, with communication. And he's a king. He's a mature masculine, right? He's like the apex of everything that you can do with communication. I think in the beginning of the week, you're standing in your power. I think also I'm getting a strong sense of respect here. I'm getting like respect. And you know what it is that I feel like leading up to this week, you've been probably working really hard. But what I think, I feel like you're walking the talk. I'm hearing walking the talk. And what it is that you're standing for what you believe, and you're verbally reinforcing what you believe. And it's not in a tough way. You're not putting anyone down. Believe it or not, kings are very mature. Well, I know you know kings are mature, but kings are not the type of people who would make you feel bad for approaching them, right? And this is such a nice energy because I kind of think of it like a boss. Like if you have a boss, like I've had several managers who are just so good. That's all I can say. They're good, right? And what it is the reason that what makes them so good is that they're not micromanaging, but you feel their authority, and you feel their authority in a non-threatening but strong way. They're just like a fixture, right? They're immovable. They're immovable, but they're understanding, right? And that's what the energy that I'm really getting. That's what's radiating off this. You see that wheat? That is like the harvest of all the hard work that you've done, and it's related to communications. So I feel like in the middle of the week, it's just because it's a king and that's like the very last card of the sword suit. I feel like in the last few weeks, you've probably been communicating a lot. It could be through text messages, but I'm almost getting more of an email kind of sense. And I am getting a sense that it's kind of feels like your job. Like it almost feels like your job to be good at communications. But beginning of the week, I'm like, oh, I'm not worthy. I'm like praising you because your energy at the beginning of the week is on mark. Like you are on par. If you send an email, it's a paragraph and a half. It sums it up. It's almost like that email that you send that's a paragraph and a half, which could be a page and a half, but it's not because it's that succinct, right? It's like boom, 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 boom. And the thing is that you're very strong in your power. And again, I'm getting kind of like that good boss energy. You could be dealing with a masculine that's exuding that energy, but I'm really getting the vibe like this is you. I'm getting the feeling you're the king. You're the king. It's good to be the king. And but I do feel the sense that it's almost like you're kicking out emails, or you're handling correspondence. And it could be all IT too. This could be an IT thing. But you're on top of it. You're on it. You're in it, on it, all over it, baby. Good for you. And I also get the sense that with it being a king, I think other people are really looking up to you for this. But I do get a sense, and again, with all the air energy, it's like Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. Your goal is to communicate in a fair way and to make everything balanced. You're not looking out for anything. You are looking out for yourself. You're keeping yourself balanced as well. But you're also looking out for other people, and your goal is to get the communication across and to get everything done. You're not looking for any praise, you're not looking for any glory. You just want to do the best job you can. And I think you are, because that grain is like a harvest. It's like the abundance that comes from you doing what you do very well. So definitely that's the beginning of your week, and kudos to you, because that's awesome. That's just shining bright. Now, the middle of the week, I see you working, honey. I'm hearing that song, work, work, is that Hamilton? I'm also hearing, yeah, I'm hearing another song, but I'm not going to say it. That's a little bit more of a relationship kind of sexual thing, but I'm not getting anything kind of amorous from the middle of the week. I'm definitely getting some straight up work. So I do think that, you're going to be very preoccupied. This was actually a contender. We just did the Eight of Pentacles, How to Tarot, a couple weeks ago. Was it last week? And this was a contender, but Morgan Greer is always a contender because this is the deck I learned on. And of course, I heard it's something wicked. But you see how entrenched this person is, and you gotta love it. This is like a 70s deck, so everybody has a handlebar mustache and it's just badass, right? But you see how the profile is. You see this person working hard, right? And by the middle of the week, you're working hard. The other vibe I'm getting is, especially with all this mental energy in the beginning, it's almost like you're in the zone. That's what I'm hearing. You're in the zone. It's like that laser beam kind of like blinders, like, and I do feel like I am kind of getting a vibe like you're working for the weekend. And honestly, your weekend has the Star and the Three of Cups, so I understand why you're working for it. I don't even think you know that that's coming, but we're about to get to that. It's coming, just to let you know. But I'm really animated. Sorry, guys. I did not expect to have this much energy because I had zero energy when I started this. But middle of the week, you're going to be laser beam focused on what you're doing. The other vibe that I'm kind of getting is that it's possible that you might have a break coming up. Please let me know if this resonates. If you have like Friday off, or either that, or if you have some kind of long weekend that you're kind of looking forward to. I almost get the feeling like you're wrapping up loose ends. You're tying up loose ends. Like you're pushing into overdrive. And it isn't that it's funny. It's not even because the work needs to be done. It's because it's almost like you want to get everything, in all your ducks in a row by the weekend. But I am getting a strong sense that you're engrossed in what you're doing. You like what you're doing, and that's such a great energy because I know the Eight of Pentacles is kind of more of an industrious card. It's kind of like just like the working hard, laser beam focus. But I do get the sense that the beautiful part of the Eight of Pentacles, and we talked about this in the How to Tarot, if you get a chance, if you want to check out that video, as you get towards the middle of the week, it will give you a lot more, by watching the How to Tarot, it gives you a lot more emphasis on that energy if you want more information about how it's gonna, roll out for you. But you love what you do, right? Either that, or it encompasses your passion, right? You are, when something that you do gets, I like to say it, when you lose track of time, right? And who doesn't like to, when it comes to work, who doesn't like working and losing track of time, right? If it's something that you do, that the hours pass and you get paid for it and you feel like you've done a job well done, definitely go for it, right? And that's the energy. But I do kind of get a sense like your weekend energy feels a little bit elongated, so it's almost like you have some kind of long weekend, which is great, but you're really going to be putting in that extra oomph. You're going to be kind of pushing your level to 110% before you get to the weekend, and I almost get the feeling like you're finishing up all of your tasks before you take a break. Now your weekend energy is really interesting. You have the Star and you have the Three of Cups. And goodness, guys, the Star is the major arcana. Oh, and Bob says hi. Sorry, this is my house plant. He's a monster. The Star and the Three of Cups is really you know what I'm getting? I really get the sense, okay, this is some interesting energy, and I'm sorry, I giggled before because by the weekend, you're feeling really hopeful. Like you feel like, the other thing is that the intro to this is, as you go into the Star, it's quite possible that it's just been a heavy work week, and I'm hearing that song, working for the weekend. I'm working for the weekend. Like you're really like you've earned your time off is the vibe I'm getting. You've earned your time off. And I do get the feeling like you might be enjoying some fun time with friends. You might be enjoying some fun times with friends. And the crazy thing is, this is kind of like a root, right? Normally when 3 cards are in a row, it's like the root, the stem, and the bloom. And you got some mini blooms here. We got root, bloom, we got root, bloom, stem, bloom. And honestly, guys, if I had to call it, and you can be a man or a woman in this energy, I really get the sense that you're shining bright. You're enjoying it. By the time you get to the weekend, you're really going to be having a lot of fun. You're going to be letting loose. I do get the sense this is a bit crazy because we do have 2 kings here. And the crazy thing is that we've got Justice, and then we've got Knight of Rods and King of Rods, which is the Knight of Wands and the King of Wands. And we've got the 5 of Swords. I know this sounds a little crazy, but I got to read it how I read it. I think that someone's trying to get your attention, and this person's a very fiery character. It can be a woman in this energy, but we're getting a lot of masculinity here. So a King of Rods is a very warm kind of character, but the Knight of Rods is a very he's a go-getter, to say the least. I have the feeling that you have some kind of energetic person who wants to get your attention, but it's almost like you don't have time for that. And I know that's crazy because the 5 of Swords is like kind of like getting over on someone, right? It's kind of like feeling like it's kind of feeling like someone's overshadowing. So I kind of read this one of 2 ways. You could feel like someone is trying to overshadow your good feelings. So there might be someone who's acting kind of flamboyantly. But the King of Rods, the crazy thing is, the King of Rods is not really, he's a dynamic character, but usually he's not the type to really be mean, right? The Knight of Rods might be a little bit immature. Like, the guy might be a little bit, sometimes the Knight of Rods can come in as just kind of like, he's dynamic, but he's immature in the sense that he's not a king, he's a knight, and he goes after his impulses. And I'll call it the way that I see it. Someone's watching you. Someone's watching you and someone's trying to get your attention. And this person is a very dynamic person in their own right. But what I'm seeing is the root of it is justice. And it's almost like you going about your life and having a great weekend. I'm almost getting the sense, and with the star usually kind of means social media. The reason being is because you think of a dark sky, and it's global Sleep Under the Stars night, right? It's almost like maybe you're posting some stuff on your social media, and you're having a great time with your friends. And you know what it does is that all these good times almost looks like you win, right? You win over the weekend. You win. And it's almost like you win over the King of Wands and the Knight of Wands. It's not in a gloating way, though. You're just going about your business, right? You're doing you. But you know what it is? I'm almost getting the sense that someone might try to make it out like you just having a fun time, because you worked hard. And for the record, you worked hard. When you clock out, have you ever seen the Flintstones when, Fred rides down the brontosaurus tail and he clocks the heck out? That's what you're doing, right? So you've earned your downtime. But maybe you're posting pictures. By the weekend, you might be doing some things in social media, and someone might be really... The other thing is that these 2 guys have wands. They have wands in their hands. And quite honestly, this might be 2 different people. This might be a younger person and an older person. But you got 2 people really attracted by what you're doing. And I feel like you're doing it in a real independent way. The other thing is, I think you're doing it with your girlfriends. The other thing is that maybe you're posting some really, uh, this sounds crazy, but I gotta say it. You might be posting what I call some triple hot pictures. Like maybe you have two really attractive friends and you are yourself are so like, again, you're like the star. I mean, seriously, this woman, right? Um, and what's happening is with the star next to the three, what I kind of see is that like maybe on social media you post a picture with you and two other friends, and there might be one or two other guys or girls or somebody in the Knight of Wands and King of Wands energy that's looking at like, damn, that's my girl. Look at her with her other hot girlfriends. And you know what it is? It's justice. It's justice. It's almost like they're looking at you like you're getting one up, but you're not getting one up. You're just going about your life. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say you're gonna have an 8-girl weekend, and I'm so jealous because that's awesome. And if you know, don't be afraid to post pictures. If you feel like posting pictures, just do it naturally because it's gonna look hella attractive to one or possibly two other people. I'm really getting a two other people vibe. And the funny thing is one of the energies is slightly younger and a little less mature, and one is really mature. But either way, you're really lighting their fire, if you get my drift. But it's almost like they're just desserts. If neither of these guys are calling you or making an effort to reach out to you, watching you on social media is not a defeat. It's them needing to kind of step up and call you, because that's just how it is. But that's how I'm reading it. But either way, the bloom of this situation, the top of this situation, is you having a really great weekend. You're probably going to look really great. And the other thing is that sometimes you just look really beautiful because you're having a good time, right? But I do think this is it's a welcome break. It is quite possible that because you've been working so hard, then you play hard and you have the accomplishments from work, you have the accomplishments of spending time with your friends, and you just look, you got the glow up, right? You're glowing. Now, the energy card that you got full of wonders. Oh my gosh, guys. And look at this. I love this because you look at the little fish, right? And it looks like the sun, but the sun is made up of like daisies and starfish. Oh my God. I am almost getting a vibe that I really do think that you're more of an emotional person. I don't think that you go around posting on social media very much. But I think that you're doing it because you're happy, and I think a lot of people are taking notice. And the other vibe that I get from this is that maybe you've been quiet for a little while because you have been busy. You almost look at this, the coloring is very similar. And I think you've just been busy. You're a hard worker, and then when you finally let loose, it's like, oh my God, this woman is crazy, like awesome, because I'm getting a work hard, play hard. But with the wands and just being wands, and this is a PG-13 channel, I do think that you're turning some people on with. How you spend your downtime is really quite awesome, and I think it's catching the attention. But if neither of these people who are watching you are making an effort to reach out to you, you're surprising them. And I do get the sense that you're living your best life, and I do think that you're spending time with friends, and that's amazing. That's an excellent weekend, and I hope you enjoy it, and that's really awesome energy, guys. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to pile number 2. Okay, pile number 2 with the Rose Volcanic Quartz and the Art of Tarot by Liz Dean. And I'm so excited. I've been neglecting this poor deck. It's a beautiful deck. It's what we call a pip deck, where all the minors are just they don't have an actual like scene to them. like like with the minors, if you see the Two of Swords, it's the Two of Swords, it's nothing else. But all of the court cards and all of the major arcana do have images, so that's what it means when someone says it's a pip deck. And I love this deck, but I just really haven't had I haven't gotten around to using it. I don't know if that's a sign that I need to start purging my decks. I don't want to do that, but I will if I have to. But I wanted to go ahead and get it into rotation, and I thought it was a beautiful deck to use today. So let's go ahead and see. Deck number 2, the Nine of Cups wanted to pop out. Let's see, what is the energy for deck number 2 for this week? August 8th through 15th. And this, okay, we have a card that fell on the floor. And the Two of Swords, it's cutting right where the Two of Swords is. And the Nine of Cups. So I feel like these are two... Oh, there we go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull out the Nine of Cups because I feel like it's speaking to us. And the Four of Wands wants to make an appearance. And here I am, you know, saying, oh, it's a pip deck, it's not going to speak to me. And look at it, it's like, why haven't you shuffled me in so long? Darn you, you know. Don't ignore me. I'm going to go through and get the Nine of Cups because, well, maybe that was speaking to me. So we have Two of Swords and Temperance. Let's go ahead and end of our week, please. What's the energy for the end of our week? Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, we have quite a few fours, and the fours really speak of stability. They speak of stability and they speak of like the cornerstone of something, right? You know, the foundation of something. And then we're going to do our wonderful Salmon advice cards. I love this deck. And if you see, there's a card that's kind of sticking out there. That's our card. Let's see what it says. Reap the fruits. And here we are. That's so cute. I love these cards. They're very quirky. Like I said in the intro, I purchased them off Etsy, and they're actually by a Russian band that's in St. Petersburg. And the imagery really reminds me of like Yellow Submarine. It's like psychedelic pop from like the Beatles. But it's very introspective. It has really good messages, and I love these cards. So the beginning of the week, pile number 2, you got Temperance and you got the Two of Swords. And wow, guys, and remember how I said this is a pip deck, and oh, here we go. Bob says hi. This is my monster houseplant, Bob. But Temperance is a beautiful angel, and what it is they're mixing two elements for you, right? And the Two of Swords is like being at a standstill. So the beginning of the week, with it being 2 cups and 2 swords, I do think that you're at a standstill. This standstill could be with a person, or it could be just with kind of feeling like with life in general. I do think that you feel there's something that there's some situation that is at a stalemate, right? The Two of Swords, when you look at it, it's 2 swords in this image. It's 2 swords completely parallel to each other, right? They're not moving. They're fixed positions, right? And so I do think that at the beginning of the week, there's some kind of situation that you are being very firm about. I do get kind of, the other thing with the Two of Swords is it's kind of your head over heart, right? You might be feeling some very churning emotions. There might be something that you might be drawn to do, but you feel like it's the wrong decision, and you're exercising your logic to rein in those emotions. But I do also think that you might be kind of ignoring your emotions a little bit, not in a bad way, but what you're doing is you can't cave, right? There's some situation that you're not making any decision about because it's almost like you have really powerful emotions about it and you don't want to make the wrong choice, but you're not making any choice at all. And what it is because you're making no choice at all, it's almost as if the universe is stepping in and making the decision for you, right? There's the universe that's. The other vibe that I kind of get from this is that it's almost as if you do not have to do any work right now, because if it's almost like if you're feeling stuck, if you feel like you can't make a choice or take an action because there would be some kind of consequence, it's almost like the universe is saying, let us handle it, right? Let us mix the elements. You might have to wait a little bit, right? So at the beginning of the week, if you feel like there's some kind of action that you need to take but that you're not taking, give it a little bit of time, right? Because this is an angel, right? This is not a person. This is not someone in the physical, 4D plane. I'm sorry, the 2D, the two-dimensional world. This is someone who is, this is an angel. It's almost like your higher energies is doing the work for you. So the other vibe that I kind of get is that the beginning of the week you might feel like there's some kind of decision that you have to make, but you're not making it, and you're kind of at a standstill. And it's almost like the universe is telling you, take your time. If you feel like it's not the right time to take action, don't take action. There are things going on behind the scenes, right? There's something happening on a higher plane than yourself that's going to recalibrate the situation. So trust your instincts, but at the beginning of the week, you might feel a little bit stuck. The other thing is that the thing I love about this deck, and maybe that's why I was drawn to use this deck, is that it shows the astrological sign, and this is Gemini and this is Sagittarius. And Sagittarius and Gemini are polar opposites on the astrological plane. They're like a seesaw, right? And what it is that, and Gemini is a very mercurial energy. It's like, they're quick decision makers, right? It's like they are very, am I using the right word when I say visceral? I don't know why that word's coming to me. I'll have to look it up later. It's probably something, completely. Have you ever watched the cartoon Bobby's World when he used to say words and he thought he knew what they meant? I do that all the time. But Gemini is it's mercurial in the sense that a lot of information filters through you very quickly, and you're usually very quick to, believe it or not, you're the type of personality that can take the facts and divvy it up and say, yes, okay, this is what we're going to do based on ABCD. Let's do this, right? You're quick, but it's almost like you're at a stoplight at the beginning of the week, and it's okay, because it's almost like you have to turn your energy over to the other side, right? You have to let your opposite energy, and again, like that seesaw, if you're feeling stuck, don't take any action. Sit back and wait, right? I'm really surprised that the High Priestess didn't come out, but if the High Priestess did come out, it would be about, kind of sitting back and observing, because there is a higher power at work here. And the other thing is that you might be feeling stuck because there's other gears, there's invisible gears in this situation, almost like a big clock, right? There's invisible gears that are turning, that are going to eventually let you move forward. Now, the middle of your week, you have interesting energy. The beautiful thing is at the beginning of the week, you see how parallel it is. You see how they just look like opposites, like they're not moving. But here you kind of see that the bottoms of the rods are kind of angled in together. The Four of Wands is really about, it's about reaching a milestone. And this is really amazing energy, guys, because the kind of bookends of your week, the beginning of your week, you have a major arcana, and the end of the week, you have the Fool, which is also a major arcana, and then you have all these fours. I really get the sense that middle of the week, you're going to get some kind of news. You might feel a little bogged down in the beginning of the week, but just know inactivity, like doing nothing, does not mean that you're being lazy, right? It doesn't mean that you're not, it just means that there might be something else going on that you're not aware of. And that energy is going to play into the middle of your week. And the Four of Wands is really about a milestone. I get the feeling in the middle of the week you're going to get either some kind of news or some kind of praise that shows that it's an accomplishment, right? It means that you've accomplished some kind of milestone. But with it being wands, I really get the sense that this is going to be some kind of public, acknowledgement. But I do get the sense that in the middle of the week, you are going to feel accomplished. Beginning of the week, you're going to feel a little bit stuck, like you're doing nothing. But by the middle of the week, you're going to see what all that nothing was about, right? And you're going to see how you're graduating to the next level of things. And I know that sounds really vague, but possibly if it's a situation at work or a situation with home, you know how sometimes no news is good news? Sometimes when things seem so quiet and then in the middle of the week it's like, oh wow, you've been nominated for this award, or congratulations, you got that promotion you were looking for. It's kind of like that feeling. By the middle of the week, you're going to see how you really are, moving up you're leveling up, right? You're leveling up. Another reader here on YouTube, she's so cute. She has a charms dish that has the little mushroom from Super Mario Brothers, and she's like, level up, and you know how you go from little Mario to big Mario. I see that's what's happening here. You finally get your mushroom and you go from little Mario to big Mario. I don't know why I'm seeing that, but that's what I'm kind of getting. In the middle of the week, you're going to be like, ooh, level up, extra life. You're going to feel like all of this inactivity was for a purpose, and you're actually going to see what that purpose is in the middle of the week. Now, the end of the week, this is really interesting energy. It's a little bit conflicting because the Four of Pentacles is really about holding on, right? It's about buckling down and kind of, I kind of think of it as bunkering down, right? But underneath it, you have the Fool, which is a very free, loving energy, right? So the vibe the vibe that I'm getting is almost like, I'm almost getting the sense like you're preparing for some kind of level up. Maybe you're about to maybe by the middle of the week, you get the word that you've been approved for a mortgage, or you got a new promotion, or, maybe for some of you, I don't really get this vibe. I don't see I don't see the Empress or anything like that, but maybe you've got news that you're going to have a new member of your family, or about a pregnancy, or some other financial obligation. And what it's doing is it's putting you you're excited about it because it's that next level of things. But by the end of the week, then you're immediately going to start thinking, okay, how can I save for this, right? I've leveled up, that's great, but how am I going to pay for it, right? So you're all excited about it. You got the Fool, and so you're going off into new territory, and you're stupid excited about it, but you're like, how do I bunker down? How can I reinforce the corners of this foundation financially and in the physical world? But this is really wonderful energy. I think what you're doing is you're getting excited about the future. It's almost like it is like an exciting, it's like an excited penny pinching energy, which I know sounds really contradictory, but it's almost like you're leveling up. It could be that you're moving out from your house and now you're going to pay rent, and you're all excited about that. That's a new level, that's a new accomplishment, but let me start saving up for the down payment, for the monthly expenses. I'm so excited, this is going to be great, the universe is taking care of me. It's kind of that energy, but I get the sense that you're excited about it, but all of a sudden at the same time that you have all this excitement, you're starting to kind of budget out or really conserve your money, or to make sure that you have enough to make this new level up a reality. And that's going to be kind of your focus throughout the weekend. Now, the salmon advice card that you got is you got reap the fruits. And this is such a beautiful card. You know what? I actually, it's such a cool story. My boss actually saw these cards. My IRL, my in real life boss. He saw these cards and he pulled this card, and it was so sweet. He told me a story about how him and his friends have a story about, um, it's there's a saying with him and his friends where they talk about, it being all the fruits, man, all the fruits. And what it is that his story about that was that, how sometimes life gets a little bit tough, sometimes you get a little frustrated, and all of a sudden, you're like, wow, this was really a challenging day. But at the end of the day, things are good, and even though it was a challenging day, you are blessed. And it's like, remember the fruits. That's what he says. Remember the fruits. And that's what I'm thinking of. Reap the fruits, right? You've done all this work, right? You're graduating. And that is, you've done the work, right? So, go ahead and reap the fruits of that. I do think that you're being practical about it. You're not trying to spend too much money, but enjoy the fruits of that labor, right? You came a long way, baby, right? This is your foundation. You got a 4 and a 4. So by the end of the weekend, just remember that. And again, with the Two of Swords, you might have experienced some challenge, and it could be in your own mind. But just know that despite all of the kind of hardship you went through, that hard work went to a really great cause, and you are reaping the fruits now, right? Look at those apples, right? I remember I went apple picking in Syracuse, New York with my mom one time, and I just remembered how beautiful that is. And you think about how long it takes for an apple to become ripe, for you to pick it in September, right? Or how long it takes for I think it takes 9 months for a pumpkin to grow. But then in October you go and you pick it for Halloween, right? You've earned this accomplishment over time, and you are allowed to enjoy it. It has been a challenge, and you're being practical about it, but embrace some of that fool energy, right? Know that you got all of this accomplishment on your own merit. But that's a wonderful week, guys. Wonderful week. I do think by the end of the week you might be a little bit, money on your mind, but just take some time out to celebrate, because I do think that you got some great things coming your way. All right, so last but not least, we have the Linestrider tarot. And oh my gosh, I drew a total blank when I was talking about it in the beginning. And with it, I have a blue fluorite stone. It looks a little darker here in the lighting because, I'm filming at night. But I'm going to do a quick shuffle. But the Linestrider tarot. Deck number 3, what is your energy for the week? Middle of the week, please. Okay, end of the week. Okay, please clarify justice. Oh, thank you. We'll go ahead and get your Salmon advice cards. And as I said in the intro, this is a wonderful deck. I purchased it off Etsy. It's created by a band in Russia, in St. Petersburg, and they're not selling I have the volume 2, but they are selling the volume 3 at this point. And but it's beautiful cards. It's the imagery reminds me a lot of the kind of psychedelic pop artwork from the Beatles' Yellow Submarine, and it's just really cool. And actually, your card flipped out right underneath the root of your entire end of your week. I think you're going to have a powerful end of your week. Now, the beginning of the week, you have the Page of Cups. And wow, guys, this is such a beautiful energy because if you look closely, you see kind of a rabbit, and it doesn't look like a friendly bunny, not in a bad way, but it kind of looks like a bunny that's kind of looking and watching. It's almost like a guarding, right? And then you see this girl who has, she has a flower in her hair, and she has a little tattoo, and I love the pages being depicted as kind of younger adults or children. But, ooh, sorry guys, I somehow turned my flash on. I don't know how I did that. But the beginning of the week, you're going to be in a very receptive kind of energy. It is kind of a beautiful energy. I do love the Page of Cups energy because it's very, of all the cups, of all the page cards, the Page of Cups is very innocent. It's very ethereal, if that's a way to describe it. It's very Piscean, right? In the sense that you feel very open to the world. You feel very open to concepts. Like, I feel like your mindset is going to be very dreamy at the beginning of the week. You might be having very prolific dreams, or you just might be kind of lost in your head and daydreaming. You might be watching a lot of TV, or kind of, I sometimes see the Page of Cups when you're really indulging in, maybe you found a new TV show on Netflix or some kind of, where you're binge watching and you're just totally engrossed in this whole other world. Sometimes you can be reading a lot, or, getting lost in a book. But the beginning of the week, you're definitely going to be in that world. You're going to be in that kind of dreamscape where you really do kind of, you're not really connecting so much with the real world, but it's not in a bad sense, but I get the sense that you really you'd rather be in the dream world than the real world. So I'm not getting a really strong, I'll be honest, I'm not getting a real strong work vibe from this. It's possible that you might be off from work for summer vacation, like if you're a student. Either that, or if you are working, you're really looking forward to when you get off from work because you really do want to check out. And again, you're in a very innocent and kind of receptive, really kind of dreamy kind of state at the beginning of the week. Now, the middle of the week, you have the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups, when you look at it, the image in this cup, the image in this card is very, it gives a lot of meaning. When you look at it in the reverse, it almost looks like something dripping down, but in the upright, it's like it's dripping up, right? And you see the shattered pieces of something. And the Seven of Cups is really about being kind of, it is about being a little bit, it is a lot about illusion, right? It's about having a lot of different options, but not knowing what to choose. But the indecision isn't so much from you being confused. Well, it is a card of confusion, but it isn't so much of that you're not a decisive person. It just means that your practical facilities are clouded, or they're afflicted in some way. Sometimes, and again with this card, it could mean that it can kind of mean that you might be dealing with some kind of broken pieces in your life. And again, with the Page of Cups being that real innocent kind of wanting everything to be well kind of energy, by the middle of the week, it's almost like you don't know which way to go, right? I am getting a lot of water energy from this. Of the whole week, we have 4 cups cards, and then we have a few swords cards. So, and oh my gosh, guys, your salmon card really comes through very, that speaks a lot. I do think that you feel very lost. I do think that it's almost like in the beginning of the week you feel very innocent, like you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do, and it's almost like you feel safer being in kind of a dream state, right? It's almost like you feel safer getting lost in books or sticking with the ideal of something that you have in your mind than the actual reality of it. And the middle of the week, you're just going to feel a little overwhelmed, right? I think by the middle of the week, you're going to have several options about something. Either that or you just feel like everything is broken into a million pieces and you don't know how to piece it back together again, right? You just don't know where to start. I'm getting a strong sense of overwhelm, like feeling overwhelmed by the middle of the week. I do think that you might have a few options with things. Either that or just emotionally you feel like you have too much going on in your life. I am getting a sense, like I'm getting a strong introverted kind of sense with this group. And I do think that you have a good heart. You're a good, sweet person, and you're very kind of innocent in the way that you approach things. And I think in the beginning of the week you have all good intentions, and it's almost like you have idealized kind of perception of how things are going to go, but by the middle of the week it's almost like you have too many options to choose from. You're overwhelmed and you don't know what to do, right? You don't want to make the wrong choice, but it's just very overwhelming for you. And I do get a sense with it being cups, it's almost like overwhelming in an emotional sense. Like, if I go with this, then what happens with this other option? It's almost like you're torn in too many emotional directions. Now, by the end of the week, this is really, I am almost getting the sense like this might be a relationship kind of situation, guys, because by the weekend, by the end of the week, and this is not bad energy. This is actually very balanced energy. It's a lot more on the level than what you've been feeling towards the middle of the week. I mean, middle of the week, to be quite honest, by the middle of the week, you might feel a little overwhelmed to the point where you might be indulging a little bit more in if you are an adult legal drinking age, you might be drinking a little bit more because you feel like again I'm getting a little bit of a lost kind of feeling. There's several cards here that indicate feeling lost, right? Feeling kind of adrift, right? But by the end of the week, we actually have some pretty strong energy that's positive. You have the Justice card, which is the balance, right? It's about being balanced. You see, the two scales are level, and you have the sword of justice, and you have Lady Justice with her eyes open, right? Not even blindfold. But the root of this situation is you got the Two of Cups, and here you go, you got more cups, right? And underneath that, you have the Five of Swords and you have the Four of Cups. So I'll be honest, guys. I think that there's some kind of love situation going on. I think that there might have been a situation where I do get the sense as if there was some kind of love situation that you had to make a decision about. You might have had options between several people. And the crazy thing is, towards the middle of the week, you might have been more pressured to kind of make a decision between these options. And by the end of the week, I really get the sense that no decision is a decision, and that's not to pressure you, because I know I know being pressured is not cool. In order to make a right decision, you can't have someone hounding you to decide what you want to do. But by the end of the week, I really get the sense like there's a feeling, there's a feeling of being defeated, and it's almost like an empty victory, right? And the empty victory is playing into yet another cups card. It's the Four of Cups, where you're just kind of feeling numb, right? And you're feeling numb about the Two of Cups, right? I do get the sense that there's some kind of love situation where you have several choices. You're a very feeling kind of person and you don't want to hurt anybody, but you have to make a fair decision, right? But unfortunately, the fair decision, because the level scales and the two equal cups, right? The fair decision might not make you happy, right? I'm getting a sense because we've got the Five of Swords and the Four of Cups, you know, um, it's almost as if I really get the sense like you're trying to make the right decision, but sometimes the quote unquote right decision might not make you happy, right? So, but I do get the sense like you're trying not to be you're trying to be fair, right? But I do think that the right decision will be made. Um, but I do implore you to just say that if this is related to love, your feelings are important in that, right? If it means making something right with someone else, by all means make something right with someone else. But if you are not making yourself happy, um, when it comes to that, I just want to say that one of the biggest misconceptions in life is that you have to always please others. Granted, yes, if you took some kind of actions that require an obligation to another person, then by all means, adhere, live up to that obligation, live up to what you promised to do. But if that means long-term unhappiness, because we've got the Five of Swords and we've got the Four of Cups, that speaks of defeat and feeling numb inside, right? And, if that's going to give fairness to someone else, that's a good thing, but you're not meant to be miserable, right? Your decisions in love are very weighty ones, right? And one of the scales is you. One of the scales that you're balancing is you, right? So it speaks of honesty. The other way that I kind of read it too is that your Salmon advice card, you got lost. Got lost. And you see all these masks, right? It looks like these trees that are wearing masks. And it is the Ten of Pentacles, which sometimes can mean family. Um, One other way that I read this, guys, is that there might be some kind of obligation to family that might be making you a little bit unhappy, because you got, all these masks mean that you're wearing a mask, like you're putting on a persona that's not really you. But it's not making you happy. It's you see this soldier, you see this knight wearing armor and he's victorious, but he looks utterly defeated. He defeated the other person. He got all the swords, but does he look happy that he's victorious? No, he looks miserable and he looks exhausted, right? So it's quite possible that you might be kind of caught up. You could be caught up in expectations that other people have of you. You might be putting on masks with either your family or I'm getting kind of a Hierophant vibe from this. Maybe your social group or the perception of what you are supposed to be is what you're living up to. But I am getting a strong sense that by the end of the weekend, you might be feeling really lost by the middle of the week. But by the end of the week, you're tired of being miserable, right? You're tired of being miserable. You want to take the mask off. You know, you don't want to be numb anymore. And I see this as the root, the stem, and the bloom. I really get the sense that, you know, if you take the mask off and you ask for what you really want, if you get clear about what you really want, it will bring you love. And I am getting a strong relationship vibe from this. And it'll feel like justice. It's almost like taking the mask off and going for what you want. It'll bring balance back to a situation. And I do think that that balance, you might see signs of that, like by the weekend. And this is very powerful, guys, because you are being crowned by the Justice card, which is the only major arcana. So it's almost like you're going from being lost and feeling, you know, feeling lethargic and defeated, or feeling lethargic or like you're conquering everyone else, to coming out of that lost feeling, taking off the mask. And you might be approaching someone and really going for what your heart's desire is. And I do feel like when you go for your heart's desire, and this will be definitely over the weekend, it'll be kind of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that it's going to feel like the right thing to do. It's going to feel like justice has been served. But wow, guys, it's really powerful. And you're definitely really in your feels. You're a very strong feeler. But I do feel like you'll know that this is the right thing to do, because this is the Two of Cups and Justice, which is a balance of two trays, two cups, right? So when by the weekend, I really think you're going to be coming out of this lost feeling, and you're going to be doing what's right, and it's going to feel right to you. But wow, guys, wow, that was really powerful. Of the 3 decks, that one was deep. But I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you have a good week. Again, you know, it is August 8th. The first day is National Sleep Under the Stars Day. So if you get a chance, sleep under the stars. Make happiness happen for yourself or for someone else. Go out and get a frozen custard today, whether that be at the grocery store or, you know, at the frozen custard stand. Go to Rita's. I would say buy something for $1 at the local garage sale, if that's a thing anymore. Go bowling or play bowling in your house, or play it on your phone. And if you're so inclined, go ahead and sneak zucchini onto your neighbor's porch. That's a strange one, but it's on the list. You can look it up. I know a lot of not a lot of clients, I'm sorry. I have a lot of friends who are really wonderful gardeners, and they grow zucchini, they grow, you know, all these wonderful plants. So go ahead and sneak that onto your neighbor's porch, as long as it's not illegal in your state, right? But I hope you enjoy your day and you enjoy your week. If you're so inclined, please join me on Tuesday. It's going to be How to Tarot Tuesday, and we're going to be talking about the amazing 10 of Pentacles. So I hope you have a good week, and take it easy, be safe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.